I asked for a random subject. And the random subject I got is why medieval people were afraid of mirrors. Well, it is a random subject. You don't need facts. You can approach it like, I don't know much about this, but I found the idea interesting. Blah, blah, blah. I could do some research, couldn't I? When did mirrors first appear? Did Romans have mirrors? Because Romans had glass. What the hell are mirrors? Like, it's glass, and only got foil, and then there's a backing. Is this something like that? How do they make mirrors? I got a feeling it's just glass with foil. Like a flat foil. Aluminium foil. And there's a backing. I have no idea. I don't know. Can you get polished, shiny rocks and things? But it's not enough to see your reflection. I mean, people's reflections were in water. I suppose certain types of water and certain still water, you can see your own reflection in it. When did people first start seeing their own reflections? Is there any natural mirrors? I suppose people thought of mirrors when you had glass, when flat glass was invented. Because you get glass in glass panes, right? And you get them in old pubs and things, and older houses. You don't see older houses so much now, because even the older houses have been given modern window panes and modern plastic windows. But yeah, a lot of older places, there are a few old country pubs, for instance, and they'll have like 9 panes in one window rather than one or two large panes of glass. That'll be done. It'll be done by a glass blower, and they'd have a piece of glass and spin it, and the glass would fan out flat, and then you can cut small windows, small pieces of glass, and that's how you get the 9 panes across the one piece of glass. But the place where the tube was attached, in order to use that, they still use that, and sometimes they'll have glass in old houses, and you'll see a round thing a round decoration in one of the panes of glass, and that's what it is. It's the centre of this blown piece of glass. But modern houses, they just got modern techniques where the glass is made on like a continuous running bed of rollers, isn't it? And you get this flat conveyor belt of glass, and so you can have panes which are massive, absolutely massive. Like there's a house across the road there. Which has got a massive, like floor to ceiling, one pane of glass. It's probably double or triple glazed as well. And not only glass, you've got spoons. You can see your reflection in a spoon, or say the side of a knife. What are they made out of? They're made out of stainless steel. Before stainless steel, what are they made out of? Lead, pewter, steel, iron, brass? Brass, I think I've seen brass knives and forks. You had the gold knives and forks in my home museum as well, but they were stainless steel. It actually said stainless steel on the back. So they're gold-plated stainless steel they had. Amazing. They were awesome. You could actually buy them in my home museum. I wanted them, but I think they only had a knife. They never had anything else there. I wanted the 3. My home museum. I've got to go back there. And buy their gold-plated spoons and knives and forks. Yeah. They were awesome. They looked amazing. I got some pictures. Maybe I'll put a picture of the home museum gold-plated cutlery. And they were reflective. You could see in them. See gold. When have people been making gold? Museum has got all those gold artifacts. So is gold going back to the first mirrors? I don't know. Because you're gold and silver. It's highly polished. And when did people learn polishing? I suppose that's going to be something too easy to learn. Go and distant past, someone just rubs something. Oh, that's a bit shinier than it used to be. Wonder if I could rub it some more. Maybe they rubbed it, they found fabrics to rub it with, and then if they used water, it washes away the dirt, and that's a bit shinier now. And then I don't know, because you can got really really fine clays and things which can be naturally occurring clays and stuff which can buff things up really fine. But does that count as a mirror? Say if someone's got, we think of gold and silver being really expensive precious metals today, but were they in a distant past? And were they in enough quantities and that someone had a sheet of it that they could? Tin. See, tin occurs naturally, doesn't it? But I don't know, do you have to process the ore to get tin out of the ore? Because there's Cornwall. Well, you've got Devon over there, and Cornwall's a bit further down. When you've got the tin mines, can tin be buffed up? I'll have to look it up later. What's the earliest mirrors? It'd have to be something like that. One of these naturally occurring metals are the earliest mirrors. Because it said medieval in here, but what is the medieval period? Because people are using the terms like Dark Ages and medieval period aren't really used anymore, are they? A lot of experts say you shouldn't really use terms like that because everything is a continuous development. Because we often call the old village at Cosmeston the medieval village. That's where Cosy was born. But it dates from 1350, and I was thinking about this. I don't think 1350. It doesn't sound that long ago. It doesn't sound massively long ago. For a whole village that was there and busy in 1350 to disappear, it doesn't seem that long ago. Completely disappear, because when they excavated the village, they rebuilt the village as it is now on the exact foundations with the exact things they found there, so they can make it exact as possible, in at least in the 80s, rendition of this, in quotes, medieval village. There's no glass in any of the buildings, though there was a manor house with a dovecot, which was a bit further away. That's all gone, and the base, the lower courses of the dovecot are still there, because I've been up there and photographed it. So I don't know if that would have had glass, because obviously it postdates Roman times. But why would people be afraid of mirrors? Why would people be afraid of mirrors? Because this random subject I've got to talk about is why people are afraid of mirrors. I don't know. It's like in archaeology, you find something, you don't know what it is, then it has to be spiritual or ceremonial. And you can just say, oh, maybe, I get notifications now, maybe people were afraid of seeing their own reflection and think it's like a reflection into another world or something spiritual. Maybe it just seems like you're overcomplicating the matter. It's probably simpler than that. It's probably just simpler. Maybe people are just not used to it. And the idea that the things in the reflection, the left and right, are different. And it just confused people. When people weren't used to mirrors, I think they just didn't understand it. I'm also noticing my phone as well, and nothing on my phone, and it's quite reflective, and it's just glass with a black background. Is that enough to get a reflection? Okay, so with the light coming on me, it is. So maybe that's all you need for a decent mirror, or good enough mirror, a passable mirror. It's just light on yourself, glass with a black background. You don't need much else. So maybe it's not that hard really to make a mirror. Remember, I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm just going on a thought investigation. ChatGPT has given me other facts here then explore out loud. This is what I've just been doing. Why would mirrors feel magical or dangerous? Because they're not used to it. Why do people think reflections were souls? You don't know that people thought reflections were souls. How rare were mirrors back then? They're probably less rare than we thought, because I've just thought that there are several different ways you can get reflective surfaces. Would seeing yourself clearly for this first time be shocking? No, people would probably find it funny. And probably the first thing they do is start making funny faces and things. Is it similar to how we feel about AI today? No. That's all it's given me. Yeah, I think children would laugh and find the mirrors funny if the first time they saw it, and then adults would think within 5-10 minutes would actually think, oh, this is really useful. I could do stuff with this. That's what I think. Oh, people here and dogs. I think I'll move the car down there. Don't really want to see a couple sitting on a bench. I've talked in my other videos about how I feel. I'll keep it running. The microphone's up there. There's a dog. The dog's behind the car. Make sure I know where the dog is. Oh, the car parked in the middle of the road now. Why? What are you doing? So I'm going to have to park further down than I normally would. Okay, alright. Well, we get a different view then. We could go on the other side of the road, couldn't we? The thing is, I don't like parking in front of people's houses, because they got the... Oh, there's no one in this house. Looks empty anyway. Mirrors. We were talking about mirrors. Car mirrors. Did cars have mirrors all the way from the start? I've lost my coffee. Did cars have mirrors all the way from the start? Maybe they did, because it was really, really useful. Maybe just one mirror somewhere, mounted somewhere. But I disagree with the idea that it could have been spiritual, or people were seeing souls coming through the mirror or something. I don't think people are going to be that stupid. That's like with a lot of things in history and archaeology, and that there's too much assumption that things were spiritual. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm saying that there could be other explanations. Just because you can't explain it doesn't mean something is ceremonial or spiritual. But that's something I need to talk about as well. Something I was thinking about this morning. Well, this morning, yeah. Or today. Is spirituality, the religious. It doesn't necessarily mean religious, but it means like there could be other reasons and other explanations that aren't necessarily physical. And people have different beliefs and different levels of spirituality. I think it's impossible for a person to actually be totally unspiritual and being totally logical. So I believe it's part of human nature to at least have some spirituality of some kind, even if you deny it. Just comes from your own beliefs and ideals. I was listening to podcasts last night, early this morning, and I wasn't enjoying it. I mean, so on and off, you get the odd podcast or two, or just one episode you don't particularly enjoy. I'll listen to that, watch something else, And you also got the argument that it's okay to watch something that doesn't necessarily align with your own beliefs. But some of the things people are saying and some of the way things people behave, it made me feel uncomfortable. Some of the things people talk about, or they change the subjects, or people's reactions. I'm not saying they're wrong. They're okay to have another opinion, but I felt some of the things discussed and people's attitudes were against my own spiritual beliefs. See, I'm more spiritual than I make out, but I'm not necessarily religious. I'm not religious, but I have my own beliefs which are different from everyone else. It's one of the things. I mean, limerence, for instance, limerence is something which very few other people understand. So I am different from other people. You can argue that everyone's different. But the decision I made this morning is I don't really want to listen to these podcasts anymore. You know, they can make claims that they have different beliefs and different values than myself, but the idea that other people need to change their values to align with them, even though, yeah, the idea that other people need to change their values to align with them, that's wrong. Yeah, that's wrong. Now, even if someone has a lot of influence, the idea of someone having to change their values to align with someone else. But then this goes on to a greater debate. It goes on to a much greater debate, doesn't it? I don't want to get too political, but I'm thinking about people's reactions to immigration, you know. You know, you can keep your own values, but not have to change other people's values. But at the same time, the other people, two different parties have to respect each other. And that's what we don't tend not to have a lot of in this world, on both the left and right-hand sides. Right sides. Left and right sides. Yeah. But I felt uncomfortable on this podcast last night. It made me not want to watch podcasts anymore. I believe I was like, because what I've been doing in the night is live streaming games. I was playing Fallout 76 for a couple of months, and then I moved to Derail Valley now, and I'll not do any voices and not do much narration to the games I'm live streaming. And then I'll listen to podcasts at the same time. Now, if I'm going to be playing games on my own anyway, I may as well live stream if I've got spare CPU cycles and an internet connection. You know, even if no one watches, it's worth doing, because if I'm going to be playing games on my own, it's just worth live streaming. That's the argument. But I think what I'll do is I can't live stream tonight. I've got a busy day tomorrow. I've got to go to bed early tonight. Or maybe I could do that this afternoon, couldn't I? No, I'll be editing videos. Because I got a lot of videos to edit. I mean, I rejected 4 videos. Mirrors. I've got a few vanity mirrors, and I've broken a few, and I've lost a few. I've got a few little vanity mirrors. What I've been using them for is when I'm building a computer and I'm messing around with the computer, I'm doing something with the computer or trying to plug cables around the back. I can hold one of the vanity mirrors out. I can get the USB. Oh, the USB needs to go in a little bit. Yeah, I can do that. So I've got them for doing stuff with the computer. Yeah. So that's a good thing. I've been wanting to get, like dental tools. I've been wanting to do my own dental stuff at the house anyway, because I don't trust dentists. Yeah, but getting like a dental tool, I can actually look at inside the PC and just see where things are, and like trying to get. It's like my case because I've got an old case and I've got multiple 3.5-inch drives, and trying to get the USB cables around the back, without disassembling the whole case and messing around. Just reach inside a little bit of mirror and just get the SATA cables in and the power and SATA cables in. I need to stop complaining in these videos and start talking about positive things, and start talking about possibilities and probabilities. Possibilities of talking better with more practice, which I'm not getting. See, there's another thing about the videos I've rejected. I don't feel like I explained every point well enough. I don't feel I explained points well enough, or I'd go off on a tangent, and sometimes I'll come out with the wrong words. The word I'm thinking in my mind is not the word I've said, and I've not realised it until I get to the editing stage and I realised I've said the wrong word. Well, that's happened a few times. That happens regularly when I'm reviewing the footage, reviewing the videos. Why is that? I'm not picking up. There's like a few times I call the phones cameras. But that's an understandable mistake, because that particular phone which I'm recording on now, although it is a phone, I'm using it as nothing but a camera. Everything is disabled except for the cameras on that phone. But I know I've done other mistakes as well. I've made other mistakes, done other mistakes, made other mistakes. Is it because I'm trying to think too fast? I'm not slowing myself down enough. But then, when another thing is in these videos, I've got long spaces of gaps of nothing where I'm just sat here thinking. I'm trying to think of the next word to say in this very long gaps, sometimes several minutes or more. Just thinking about the next word or the next sentence, and then my mind goes off on another tangent and just goes off in another road, another fork somewhere else. Anyway, I think it's time to go home. I've been recording for 36 minutes, and I did maybe 10-15 minutes before that, so I've got enough footage to do a video.